Alright. Back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner, Classic Lesson Known Classic. This is episode number 2875 and Doubleshot number 2769. First, we're discussing the last trade for Nova. Nova Resurrection, which collects the entirety of Volume 7 of the series. When I initially heard about this volume, the creative team got mixed reception. It is Jeff Loveless and Roman Perez. Now, I saw one group of people who saw this and basically thought this was a bad idea. Given the fact this is the same team that gave us Groot. Not the Dan Ad miniseries, the previous Groot book, which led into Rocket, Groot, and Groot. Yes, I have no idea why Marvel did this, but we just relaunched the book. The book had just been relaunched. Sean Ryan did the previous volume, and then he just left. Don't know the reason for it. As a matter of fact, you know the big story with that book? That, like, the guy who Sam found at the end of his first volume as Noah, Volume 5. If that was his fire? Nope, was a clone. And then he dies, and then, we kind of continue this over in all new Avengers. We think we found the father? Nope. And then the storyline is dropped because Rich Rider is back. Yes. Sean Ryan brought back Richard Rider. A guy who, from what I can tell, a lot of people really wanted Marvel to bring back to life. Because they felt as though killing him off was a mistake. In fact, I think he's a cult favorite character per se. I don't know how big a fan following he had. I would say Volume 4 basically was very positive received by fans. It's just that I wonder why in the world they decided to just not do anything with him. They confirmed him being dead in 2013. I think it was 2014, I think it was. With Original Sin. Now, all that did was confirm his death. Now, people might be blaming Bendis for killing off Nova. He didn't kill him off. He just reveals exactly what happened. Because he has to explain his retcon about why in the world that Star-Lord, Thanos, and Drax are out of the Cancerverse, but where's Rich Raider? Oh, he's dead. Yep. So, the whole thing with this book is that Sam, of course... Oh, by the way, I should point out that those friends he had in the previous volume, they're gone. Yep, all those cool... he basically got a group of friends in high school, got himself sort of a semi-love interest, replacing his girlfriend he had from the previous volume of the book. And he gets a new girl for some reason, and when he goes on a date with her. Once again, we play the hijinks of basically his mom playing date taxi. I don't know the reason for this. Is that, okay, we just got a new girl last volume, then we got a new girl? And I do like the whole reminiscing about Sam with his father. And then, okay, so then, we have these helmets of the dead Nova Corps in his garage. At one point, his sister jokes maybe she could basically wear the helmet, and he tells her the last time you did that, you basically blew a hole in the wall in the house, and we got kicked out. And the fact that basically her big brother is a superhero, and then I do appreciate how Jeff Loveless writes Richard Rider in here. He writes a pretty decent person, but here's the thing: is there appearance in this book by his parents? Nope. His brother. Nope. The writers are not in this book. I don't know the reason for this. Okay, so you bring Richard Rider, but you don't have her reunite with his parents. Yeah, Sam still got his helmet. Of course, he's fighting Ego. Of course he is. He has breakfast, goes off to school, and he takes out his helmet and he sees a new girl who he's falling for. Yes. And there's basically a little joke where we have various guys trying to ask her out. And those guys being Scorpion, Red Skull, Chiron, Venom, Ultron, Baron Zemo, Apocalypse, Thanos, and the frickin' Mole Man. as, and by the way, you have Sam hallucinating seeing people, and then you have Richard just sitting on a swing set, puts on his helmet, and we kind of move on from there. Thank you. Yes. So, yeah, and then basically, like, there's this weird energy stuff. Yeah, apparently that Jeff Loveless decided to follow up with what was kind of going on at the end of the previous volume, where the fact that the Cancerverse is back, and then Richard goes into what's left the Cancerverse. He runs into the Revengers. First time anyone's seen them since the Bendis retcon. And the World Mind is in the Cancerverse. And in the World Mind hates Richard for abandoning him. I'm like, what? Yeah. Also, he goes to Nowhere again, which of course they redesigned Nowhere from its previous appearance. Don't know why it looks different. He runs the Cosmo Space Dog, who's reading a Russian translation of War and Peace. Yep, War and Peace. And then that issue ends with appearance by the Tiger Man from the first volume for the book, Death's Head, and some other person. Yep, and then we have a Battle on Nowhere. It's like we're having the reunion tour here of just Richard. Yeah, the Cancerverse, basically, the whole thing with that's kind of odd. It's like, oh, we got, and oh, by the way, the next issue, Richard is reunited with Gamora. Yep. It's like, he's back, so let's have a reunite with basically Gamora. Yep. This little date thing in here. Yeah, and then of course we lead into the finale of this book, which basically is the Cancerverse stuff, and the whole thing with the World Mind. It's a weird conclusion. The fact that the Cancerverse is back. Yeah. Now, and the thing is, World Mind got possessed by the Cancerverse collapsed. Yes, and it's like possessing people. It's a very strange story. And then we have in the final issue, we have the two nobles fight each other. In the final issue of the book, the Cancerverse is dealt with. And then you have Sam briefly reading War and Peace. And then the book just ends. So it's like a quick ride for the Novas. Problems with the book. Number one, no reunion with the writers. You know, Richard's parents and his brother. Yeah, they don't appear in this book. Nope. He reunites with Cosmo, he reunites with Gamora. But what happens to these two characters after this book just ends after 7 issues? Well, Sam will continue his time over the pages of all books, Champions for a bit, even part of the relaunch. At one point, get his helmet taken away from him and get it back, and he was in part of Volume 4. He hasn't done much since then. Yeah, that's kind of weird when it comes to Sam. Like, you have this really cool, really interesting character that Jeff Loeb spent time creating this character. There you go. Okay. Hold on. Open the bag up. Some stuff over too. There you go.
Alright. Take 2.
Okay. Alright, so, yeah, basically Sam himself basically didn't do very much after this. Yeah. Unlike, let's say, Richard, who did some stuff, not a lot per se. By the way, this book was released back in like 2017. Now, the book was canceled due to low sales. Yes, that was the reason why the book ended. Low sales. And you're like, that's always the reason a book ends. Low frickin' sales. This is indeed true. But Sam, of course, still featured outside the book, like in Monster Unleashed, make guest appearances in our books. Like, as soon as the book ended, he was basically kind of there for Champions and part of the whole thing with Champions. From basically, as soon as the book ended, he basically is regular featured in Champions a lot. And then, like, after Volume 4 ended, he's part of Devil's Reign. And mostly he's been part of digital stuff. He's had one physical appearance. Devil's Reign popped up issue of She-Hulk. Marvel Voices Community. And his last recent appearance was Fallen Friend, The Death of Miss Marvel. And that's literally been it for him. That was last year. And I'm kind of like, okay, so why the heck is Marvel confining Sam Alexander to digital first books? This, in my honest opinion, is a dumb idea. Like, you have this great character in Sam Alexander, and Marvel does nothing with him. No, seriously, it's like he's done very little in the past 7 years. Richard, on the meanwhile, though, has had a bit more time since the book ended. Oh yeah, definitely. Like, what did he do once the book wrapped up? Like, as soon as the book wrapped up, he became part of the Guardians of the Galaxy under, I think it was Al Ewing. No, who wrote this book? I think it was Gary Duggan. Yes, he joined Gary Duggan's Guardians of the Galaxy, part of Infinity Countdown. Was part of the successor volume very briefly. Part of Annihilation Scourge. The Al Ewing Guardians of the Galaxy volume he was very heavily involved with. All of Fantastic Four. He joined X-Men Red issue 4. And was part of the book until like the final issue. And his most recent appearance was in the first issue of Phoenix. Yes, for some reason, Marvel put him as a supporting character in a Jean Grey book. And I'm like, why? Why the heck would you put Sam Alexander in group books instead of, give him his own solo book again? I'm sure it can sell well, but no, Marvel does not care. It's almost like, yeah, we did what you wanted to do, and then you axed the book after 7 issues, which makes it the tied for the shortest volume of the entire 7-volume series, tied with volume 3, which had the same exact amount of issues, 7. Yeah. In my honest opinion, canceling the Nova book, the last one, and I still stand by this. Marvel made a mistake canceling this book. You could have, I don't know, just continued the book for a little while. But nope, we had to cancel the 7 issues, but I think the reason people didn't want to buy it, because we just had a freaking relaunch. Just the previous year we relaunched again. Yeah, I think that's what killed that's why probably sales tanked. Was because, yes, I think it was a mistake in the book, but you can see probably why the book ended, because the book had just been restarted the previous year, and now we have another relaunch? Why? This made no freaking sense at all. Oh, with that, basically, I'm done reviewing Nova. There is, aside from, he mostly put just guest star appearances. I would say probably only major to go from aside from his group books he appears in is probably Annihilation Scourge. That's probably it. But as for the main book itself, it's done. completely done. I have enjoyed reviewing Nova, but now I'm placing it with X-Force. Yes, I really want to continue this book. Next up we have is the final issues of Infinity Incorporated, Volume 1. We're discussing issues 42 to 44 and 46-53, along with the second and final annual for the series, and number 1 for Young All-Stars. So, basically, in this issue here, Fury quits the team. The stuff here with Bones, ends up with Skyman, and of course they get the brand new headquarters that the JSA gave them. Of course, Bones is kind of on the roster. And they come up with some interesting ideas, and they have a party because Fury is quitting the team, and of course Jay's in the bikini. It's all fun and good, and we have Solomon Grundy being buried in sand. We also have Dr. Midnight. It seems as though Our Man and Dr. Midnight, the second one, they apparently like each other. And it's almost like that Roy Thomas wants a relationship but didn't go anywhere. And then the book basically has where we have this woman trying to get killed and we have this robot show up here. It's mostly do with more Hawkman stuff in this book. Yep. And it's all to do with the Silver Scarab. Well, the second one anyways. Yeah, they have a new one shows up in these issues, and he's around for a few issues. He's here until issue 44. It's like, yeah, let's deal with him for the next few issues, and deal with this woman, Helen Astor, who is just a reincarnation of Half Set. That's literally what she is. Excuse me. Yep. And with issue 44, she's done with the book. Yep, won't see her again until she pops up in Hawkman. And of course, skipping over 45 because of the crossover with New Teen Titans. Beginning of issue 46, we have a tie-in to the event Millennium with the Flying Man, Harley Quinn, and a Thor, not Marvel's Thor, Thor the Thunder Dog. Yeah, because the whole thing Infinity Incorporated is that people revealed to be Manhunter robots, and last a couple issues we have Jade fighting the second Harley Quinn. Of course, you have Tasmanian Devil helping out too. For a couple issues, unlike basically like, and of course there's all this weird scene where it basically have Obsidian in bed, and he's also in bed with his sister, who's his 90, and it seems like Jade is trying to seduce her, except she's actually Harley Quinn. I'm like, you saw the scene, like, wait, are the children of Alan Scott about to commit incest? No. Roy Thomas is not going to go that far. It's basically just a fake. Yeah, and then we basically have 48 be the origin of Nucleon. And then 49 and 50 is a weird two-parter where Nucleon sees this guy in a red and yellow suit about to do something to Lyra, aka Fury, who he's been dating. And this is actually the Sandman. No, not Neil Gaiman's Sandman. Not Wesley Dodds. This is, well, they think it's now this Sandman. Let me show off here. Because this is quite interesting, the story behind this guy here. Okay, so this is the suit belongs to Gareth Sands Sandman. Gareth Sands Sandman was a creation of Jack the King Kirby. He actually had his own solo book, except this is not Gareth Sands. Believe it or not, it's Hector Hall under that costume. If you look a little later, actually it's him. And then he just proposed to Lyra again, and they get married in issue 50. And Starfire is invited to the wedding. And she has no idea why she's even here. She barely knows anybody in this team. I think the only reason they invited her because she probably was nearby. But really interesting two-parter. Yep. 51 is a bit of a craziest issue. Yes, so right after we have the wedding, also Garrett Sandsville died in issue 50. He committed suicide. Yep. Yeah, and then the very next issue would begin basically the beginning and the end of the book. Yep. So basically, the Helix redirect Solomon Grundy to use Mr. Bones' cyanic touch to touch Skyman in the face, and he dies. Yep, they kill off Skyman. Sylvester Pemberton is dead. And he, despite it being brought back Blackest Night, the guy's still dead. Even in the current continuity, he's dead. And this basically, like, his death pretty much brought about the end of Infinity Incorporated. Well, this version of the group anyways. Yeah, and of course, we also return of Helix. Also, the character Dr. Love dies the following issue. Yeah, it's like, okay, so... yeah, he was killed by Helix. We also return him in Justice Unlimited, which is made up of Dummy, Artemis, Harley Quinn, Icicle, Hazard, Solomon Grundy. And then with the final issue, the group disbands. Yep, they disband. Also gets disbanded by Johnny Thunder. Pat Dugan basically comes to book 2. And, well, they defeat Injustice Unlimited with this final issue. And their headquarters is destroyed. And then, like, the book just ends. Yep. Ends on a very somber note. Yeah. Also, their headquarters, which is a movie former movie studio, yeah, it's destroyed here. It became their base operations with issue number, 14 or 24-ish. Yeah, and then of course this version of Infinity Incorporated would just expand off screen. Yeah, it's sad what happened to the book. The book was really, really good, but we're not done just yet. Nope. Next up, we have, before we end this video here, let's talk about a couple annuals. First of which, the Young All-Stars annual, which, the way it's written here is that we have these new members, the Young All-Stars, comprised of Dan Dynamite Man, Flying Fox, Fury, Iron Morrow, Neptune Perkins, Tigress, and Tsunami. Tigress is a former villain who they basically reformed to be an actual hero. Yep. Yeah, and the way they're written here, the whole thing about this book is about the Mannequin, the character, her appearance here, Power Dugadin. Mannequin was sort of the love interest of Robot Man, Robert Crane. That's literally what he is, what she is, and we also have Pat Dugadin, who basically ends up killing his own mentor. Yeah, the backup story is just basically the origin of the character. Oh, by the way, the artwork of this annual was done by Mike Gervis, Joe Kubert, Brian Murray, Michael Barr. Really interesting annual. And they decided to leave. And then we have a follow-up with Infinity Incorporated #2. Basically, these annuals released the same month. You have Infinity Incorporated do it with Pat Dugan in 2. And he supposedly dies, but comes back. Mannequin herself does kind of die, but she comes back. She comes back in the annual, but after this appearance here, I don't think she's ever seen again after this. Not really, no. But, yeah. But, of course, she also made appearance in Young All-Stars, but the both annuals were really good. Thoroughly enjoy them. And I can't wait to discuss Young All-Stars at the finish of talking about All-Star Squadron. Now, final thoughts on Infinity Incorporated Volume 2. Volume 1, excuse me. An amazing volume. Not a bad issue the entire series. Now, some of the book was drawn by Todd McFarlane. He has gone on record. He was not a fan of this book. He had a really terrible experience in the book. Rob Liefeld spoke about it too. That I'm not sure what exactly happened here. What exactly the bad experience was. I don't know. He's never gone into it at all. He just hates doing group books. He'd rather do solo books. It's because of this book, basically, that he doesn't want to do group books anymore. He never done group books since then. But the first volume for Incorporated, amazing. Sadly put, there's only one trade that collects this entire series. One trade. Though it actually collects the first 5 issues. It was the Generation Saga Book 1, and that was it. They never did any more trades as one. Don't know why. You would think an amazing book like this one, where it just pure awesomeness at its finest, and one trade. Not even omnibus. You're like, really? Yeah, one freaking trade. The entire series. But of course, basically, for Volume 2, there is one mini-series I'm going to do before that one, and that'll be Joni Thunder. Yep, I'm working on her mini-series next, and then work on the Volume 2 for the book, and that'll be it. Now, what's replacing Infinity Incorporated when I finish reading Volume 2? I don't know. I don't know yet. But I'm at it here because I had to get up and work in the morning, so... but I give Infinity Incorporated issues 42 to 44, 46 to 53, and #2, and the Young All-Stars and #2, a 10 out of 10. So... the next comic corner, which will be tomorrow, which is, I think, like the last one I got ready to go right now, that'll be the final trade, discuss the final trade for New Warriors Volume 4, and the final issues of All-Star Squadron. Okay? Next video tomorrow. Bye.